Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another installment of Conversations with James Freel. I am your host, James Freel. Today we have a guest who is a filmmaker. He's a former student. I think a lot of us used to be at some point. And I'm very happy to have him on. I've known him for a long time. His name is David Campble. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I loved that theme song. I loved it. That sounded great.
You know, I actually have a different theme song for the solo podcast I do.
Really?
That the listeners, the way I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't own the rights to these songs. But what I do is I take them, throw them in Audacity, and I drop them 24 half steps. So
Okay.
that's what sounded like a tuba. It was
Yeah.
actually a trumpet.
Oh.
And so
I mean, that's how people, I think, get away with, like,
it's when you
on YouTube.
yeah,
and
when you
everything.
put it,
like,
you
they
bring
just,
it down a
they
half
just
step.
slow it down or they speed it up. That's why when you try to, like, watch video and they sound all, like...
Exactly. And then they say put it to 1.25 speed and
Yeah.
it'll be normal
Mhm.
again. I mean, the internet's great.
I'm glad that we have gone forward with some stuff on the internet.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit about your experience as a filmmaker. You went to school for it. What was that like?
Honestly, I don't know yet. Like, it was fun going to school for it and everything. I met a lot of interesting people. Met, people that, they were passionate about it. So, like, you got to see that in turn. Like, some of the teachers that I had and everything. You got to see what they liked to do. And none of them were big or anything at what they did.
They work in this area.
Yeah. They just, made their films and everything, and you could see, like, when you're talking about it, like, I remember I made this 2-minute little clip, and one of my teachers, like, I was just like, I'm not really sure what to do for this scene, and he instantly was just like, oh my god, like, this would be like this, and this is, I see what you're doing here and everything, and it was just a crappy little thing with a good camera, but it wasn't anything I thought that was, like, good and everything, but they loved it, and that's what was nice about it. But I do know, what's his name? Kevin Smith. He didn't go to film school. He just kind of did Clerks with what he wanted, and look at him.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing fine.
Some people are just born with it. Some people they have a knack for it.
Maybe they're born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Who's not a sponsor yet.
But, like, I think it's more of just like a who you know business. I think anywhere is a who you know thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if you know somebody at a job you're trying to get, that's more likely for you to get a job.
Absolutely.
But I think it's even more important for film or for anything of, like, an art type thing, is just when you get people that you know to help you out. He worked at that gas station. So therefore, like, that's why he filmed at that gas station. That's what he had available and everything. And going to NKU, I met people that now I go to for advice. I actually met one of my teachers the other day. He needed a graphing calculator for his daughter, because she just started. When did we use graphing calculators?
I think Algebra 2 was when you first started.
Was that in high school or was that in junior
Yeah,
high?
that's high school. I don't think you need graphing calculators in junior high.
I think you might need to now, because she was really short.
Jeez. Maybe she's really smart.
Maybe she's really smart.
Yeah.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Still not a sponsor.
No.
But no, so I met him, and because I had the graphing calculator from our
Yeah.
high school, and I hadn't used it in
Yeah.
8.
You know what? Is it the blue one?
No.
Oh, okay, because that's the one I borrowed from you in high school. David and I went to high school together. And
No, it was a new black one.
Okay.
The TI-84 graphing calculator.
Yeah, I think that's the one that it was darker, But yeah, I think that was
Is it?
Let's pull this up. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Yeah, no. So I saw him. He posted like on Twitter, like, where can I get a nice graphing calculator for cheap, or where can I rent one, or yada yada yada. And I was just like,
This one? Yeah, that's the one I borrowed from you.
That one, yeah. I didn't think it was it was black. I don't think that would be blue.
Yeah, I guess my memory is fogged by it.
I thought you were just gonna be like, oh no. In all honesty, I'm colorblind. I've just never told anybody. But he was just like, he was asking if he needed one, and I was just like, hey, I haven't used this in like 8 years or whatever. I have this one. He's like, oh cool. And we met up, and he was like, yeah, when do you want, like, I'll give this back to you after the semester or whatever. I was like, dude, keep it. Or if any of her friends are now gonna go and use it, like, just pass it on, pass it forward, like, just keep it, like, going.
Yeah.
I don't
So you
need
built this kind of relationship there.
Yeah, like, with that teacher, he is, like, my go-to on stuff and everything. He even, like, he got me, he sent a job, actually, to me. The other day, because we were talking about it when I met up with him, like, to give him the calculator. He was like, hey, I know this person that's gonna need something and everything. I can send you, like, the link and just send him your resume and everything. So nothing's come of it yet. It happened 2 days ago, but it might. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Just because I gave a teacher my calculator, like, I might get something out of it when I didn't want to. I didn't like care to. So I think it's like all about, I know the guy, my camera guy that I use for everything now. Like, I go to him. Like, I didn't have him before. If you watch right before I met him to my films after I met him, huge skyrocket in the quality of everything. Like, because I don't know. You just said I'm a filmmaker. I don't know cameras and everything. I'm more the creative person of the film. I like coming up with the ideas. I like the acting aspect and everything. And he is the technical person, to where the teacher said that we are a great match. Yeah. Because we have those such offsetting parts of the film. My friend has no idea how to talk to people. There was one time he says, oh yeah, I thought about it like this. Maybe that's just my Aspergery brain. And, like, I just kind of looked at him. He looked at me, and I was just like, I just kind of changed the subject and everything. And then I ended up telling my roommate about it. And he's like, dude, that was your chance. You could have asked him straight up right then, do you have Asperger's? And he would have, like, he could have been honest with you. That happened, like, a couple months ago. And he's like, if you ever bring it up to him, he's going to be like,
why didn't you say it then?
Well, yeah. Have you just been thinking about this for the past 6 months? Like, why didn't you ask me then? But I think I guess that's because when we're filming, he is focused. Like, he is all about it. He is in the zone and everything. And
I've met this guy, haven't I?
Yeah. He is just so on it and everything. We filmed one time at a small restaurant. And he wanted one more shot. He wanted to go.
Was this for that film about the drug ring and the...
No, this was for Luminosity and the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, okay.
We ended up doing their last show. We did this, like, little VIP video. It played in their hospitality room.
Wow.
It was for, like...
That's a big deal in Cincinnati. I hear about that all the way up here in Toledo,
It was in the background. Yeah, because I feel like the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra, I mean, that's a thing for...
Every major city
just
has...
Ohio.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, like, an Ohio thing. But, like, it's not just an Ohio thing. Like, I hear, like, they're, like, one of the biggest, like, orchestra kind of showcases and everything. So... to be able to be a part of that and everything, we went to a bunch of places around the downtown Cincinnati area, and just seeing those places, being down there and seeing all that stuff that you never get to normally see, is beautiful. Like, it was just like all their landmark areas and everything. And when we went to these places, we're like, hey, the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra wants it. We heard that this is like a really cool place. We went to like Union Terminal. They were jerks, actually. So don't say, I won't say anything about them except that they're jerks, because I already said it. A place called Price Hill Chili.
I think I've been there before.
Which is great. Yeah.
That Cincinnati chili's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like 5-6 different Gold Star, Skyline, Price Hill Chili. Like, they're just everywhere.
I think everyone knows about Skyline from what I've heard, but they need to bring one of those up there to Toledo. Anyway, you were saying
Gold Stars actually has burgers now, and I like their burgers, which is weird.
I'm hearing good stuff about their burgers.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah.
I know his name.
Places.
Keenan Reese.
Places that we went to.
He was telling me all about their burgers. He was just telling me, like, dude, you got to get their burgers. And I'm like, I don't know. If I want a burger, I'm not going to risk it by going to...
I know.
Now,
but it was.
I got to ask, how thick are their burgers? Because I actually like a thin burger, but...
You can get a single patty, and it's not bad. It's not like a Steak and Shake thin. It's not like those patty melt thin of kind of burgers.
The gold standard for me is like a Five Guys, a one patty for a Five Guys.
All right, then yeah, Gold Star would have like the Five Guys style. None of these places have paid me to say their names, just for reference. But yeah,
although if they did.
But if they want to, I'll be a hype man for them. But yeah, no, like he was very passionate, and he wanted to go behind the counter for one of these scenes, and I'm like, dude, this is a restaurant, like we can't go behind the counter with like film equipment, everything like that. Also, it's like it was during the day, like they were cooking stuff. There was a shift, and it was like, dude, we got to get out of here. Like, we've already been here for like kind of 45 minutes. These are kind of like run and gun, kind of like guerrilla style shootings. Like, we're getting like these good shots, and we kind of got to go. And he was like, I just want that one more shot. And I was like, dude, you got to let this go, man. Like, we got to go. And we left, and he says it's the shot that got away. And I was like, you really care about this, man. Like, you really care.
Shot that got away.
That's the kind of passion I love.
I love it.
That's the kind of passion that I love. Like, I don't care what you're passionate about. I think as long as you have that passion, that's great. It just gives you that purpose of doing things and having a love for it. I don't care what it is. I don't care if I don't care about it. Like, I don't pretend to know about cars. I don't care about cars. They get me from point A to point B. That's great for me. I know how to fix my car as long as I fixed that problem before. That's all I know about cars. Like, I know how to check the oil. I'm a white girl. I know how to check the oil, and I know how to call my dad when I need help. But my buddy, he loves cars. We'll talk about him forever, and I'll just sit there and listen. Like, I'll just sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, dude, yeah, sure." And it's like, what like, and he'll tell me about, like, oh, he's getting a lift kit for this, and he's getting a drop kit for this car, and a lift kit for the truck, and the drops for the Mitsubishi Spider. And
is he pretty handy with vehicles in general?
He knows things like that. Like, I think he knows the more customizing stuff, and I honestly want to say he Googles a lot of it, because I Google everything too. But I'll talk forever about it, and then he's like, he'll try to be like, yeah, what's about your car? And I was like, dude, I don't know. Dude, I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about cars. And he's like, you just listened to me for like 20 minutes talk about cars. And I was like, yeah, dude. He's like, and you didn't care. And I was like, kinda. I mean, I didn't care. I cared about your passion. Didn't care about the subject.
Yeah.
I don't care. And I'm into nerdy stuff. Like, and I see that, like, go into my films and everything. Like, it's just these nerdy, like, these creative things. Like I'm super into anime. I'm super into like Dungeons and Dragons. Like I'm super into them.
You're gonna get me blacklisted for making a joke like that.
Doing the lisp?
Yeah,
Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm just messing, but
I feel like I have to say it like that. I don't know why. Like I love it's Dungeons and Dragons. Like, but when you think of Dungeons and Dragons, that's like I think the epitome of nerd stuff.
Well, I will say I played once with you.
Yeah.
It was on New Year's Day 2017.
Yeah.
And I had a blast.
Yeah.
The first 2 hours. Then I kind of was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that session was a lot. It was 8 people.
It was a little tedious.
It was 8 people. You guys split the party, which you don't do.
I think that might have been because one side
You
can go
don't split the party. I can't stress this enough. Anyone that's listening, I'm just saying it for anybody. You don't, because it basically that makes you sit around for a half hour while I deal with these people, and then we're gonna go back to them. So now they're sitting around. It's this and that. Like when you stick together and you're all talking to each other, like, oh, this is what we got to do for this. This is what we got to do for that. Like it's fun.
To me, and this may, to anyone who's a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons, I may sound like a total noob when I say this, but it's kind of like a real life RPG.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
You can do anything you want. Anything. I have no rules in my campaign that I run.
You say no one can be chaotic evil.
If they really want to, they're not going to last long.
You're going to kill them off?
Probably.
What's the name of the person who's like God in Dungeons and Dragons? The person who's in charge?
Me?
Yeah, you.
The Dungeon Master. Game Master.
Game Master.
Whatever kind of you do. I think people have more gravitated toward Game Master just because, like, if you play Dungeons and Dragons and then you don't have dungeons in it, it's not really like a Dungeon Master or anything. But also, like, a Game Master, like, if you meet with your group and it's like, oh, hey, let's play a board game, it's like, okay, well, I'm still in charge of, like, the board game and, like, you know, the rules and everything, so it's like that's a game. It's not Dungeons and Dragons or anything.
So as a Game Master, how much of, because it's a huge open world thing, how much of it do you already have figured out, and how much of it do you have to sort of make up as you go? Is it like you have...
So...
Go ahead,
Yeah, I actually am planning a new campaign that I am using my now graduated from Northern Kentucky University.
Thank you for making the trip up here, though.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem. Like, because I miss you, man. Like, we haven't hung out since we
played
a year. Dungeons. Yeah.
Well, no. Okay, so that was 2017, and then it was a year ago when I talked about on my podcast yesterday how I'm house sitting.
Yeah.
And I saw you last time, and I actually recorded that conversation also, and I'm like, man, I gotta get him on.
That was when I was whining about a girl.
Yes.
I think.
Not too much. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think so.
What girl was that?
Oh, you can't give her a name.
No, I wasn't. Was that the girl from high school?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know who we're talking about. Yeah. I don't have to name names. That was the biggest thing. Yeah, and then I remember it. I was like, oh, I'm starting to talk to this new girl, and I really like her. And then bad stuff happened with her, and now I'm still sad about her. I don't know why.
When I saw you...
I moved on.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, you were in Dayton a few months ago, and I ran into you at a Target.
Yeah.
And are you with the person you were with?
Yeah.
Then? Okay.
Yeah, I'm with her now. I think I'm happy with her now.
Good.
Like, it's easy with her to where, like, all these other girls, like, it's always been like a
hassle.
Not a hassle. It's been like a one way. It's been like I do stuff, and then it's like.
That's good, because I've seen you. I've seen your relationships for a while, and I've talked to you about them, and I'm like,
what are you doing? I know everybody has.
Jeez, David, like,
hey,
so many people.
Who said it? I can say famous people names.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Billy Joel. He said, if there were no, if I was no, what? No, I tried, I failed. If I was with, if he was saying, like, if he's with her and there's no more songs to sing, if he's not sad, then there's no more songs to sing. What am I thinking of? What line am I thinking of?
You're not a songwriter. You're a filmmaker.
Yeah.
You don't need to put yourself through that garbage to make good films. I've seen your films. You make great stuff.
But it gives you that inspiration for these characters and everything. Like,
gives you that human element.
Yeah, it makes it, because now I know the joys and the sorrows of different things, and I bring that in my film. So D&D, I'm actually trying to use my film stuff to like make these characters, and it's just a fun game to play with my friends, but I'm honestly using it as practice to make characters, make storylines. Now, it is more improv than a movie would be, but...
Is that sort of your answer to me asking how much of it is planned?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I remember, and I'm circling back, instead of whining about past girlfriends, that I plan the cities.
Okay.
I am a world builder and everything. I actually just built my new map that I'm making this new campaign for, and now I'm filling it. I'm putting in shops, I'm putting in locals, I'm putting in taverns, I'm putting in rumors that these taverns are talking to. So as soon as my players walk in, they'll be like, you'll hear the hustle and bustle of people talking. I want the world to act like if the players never came, doesn't matter. This world's happening, and I feel like that's basically what a movie is. That's basically what anything is. You were just seeing this.
That's what
the
creation
camera
is.
The camera is just a window into a new world that we as the audience now get to see, like a fly on the wall. Like, we're not there, we can't control anything, but now in D&D, these 4 or 5 people that I have get to shape the world. So, you know, when they're walking by on the street or anything, I have no idea where they're going to go. I don't tell them to do anything. I give them a little start for these random people to meet each other, and then they do what they want after that. If they honestly wanted to be like, I never want to see these 4 other people again, I'm leaving. I was like, okay, well, that was a really short game, guys. Good job. So they know they have to stick together in order for like a story to happen. Or, you know, that's the only thing that I feel is forced, and I'm trying to find a way actually for this campaign to not make it a forced thing. It's for story purposes that these characters are staying together. But I make these conversations. I make things that like while they're walking, so they can just be like, what's around here? And it's like, go ahead and ask a person. And one of the things I'm really trying to do now is voices. I'm trying to learn accents.
Okay, so you mean actual like voice acting?
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
Nice. I wish I could do voices. That would be.
You can do voices.
I can't.
One, you have a voice right now. You're
I've
talking.
tried.
That's
no.
one.
I can do my voice, but I can't do. I want to be able to do like.
You can't do accents. You can't.
Not without making people cringe.
Slip into. I'm not good at anything.
I
feel like if you just try.
There are a few voices I can do, but they're of people that no one else knows about.
Oh.
I'm good at doing the 1980s comedian. What is the deal with airline food? I mean, is this stuff bad or what? That's not even that good.
I feel like anybody, yeah. I was working on one today. I was coming back from the Cincinnati Anime Expo. There was like a big event down there, and it was like that's the only one in Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky region is the Anime Expo. Yeah. And so I made the drive down there to see it and everything, and we were in the car for a while. So I'm just like, I'm talking to her and I'm trying these voices and everything, and I ended up doing one, and it was basically just like this.
That's pretty good.
It sounds like it's a guy from like a hick farm town, you know.
It sounds
not
to
very
me
smart,
like it's a cross between Kermit the Frog.
That's what she said.
And Gomer Pyle from the Andy Griffith
Show.
Yeah.
That's.
I tell you what, Andy.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
So I just thought I'd do that, and then if I put a little bit of a rough inflection on my voice, it kind of sounds like Fat Albert. Hey, hey, hey.
Jeez, you just crossed the line on. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, so it's just like, I want people when they're playing to feel like they're not talking to me. I had a conversation in one of the games where one of the players fell in love with a girl in one of the taverns. Her name was Brinny, the fake character, the NPC that I made, and he fell in love with her. Like I told her she was beautiful. It was like, this beautiful dwarf. He was a dwarf, and he was like, all right, I want to flirt with her. I want to try to do a couple persuasion checks. And he was like talking to her, talking to me. I'm doing a little girl voice, and and he nailed these persuasion checks. And everybody else was like, dude, you're talking to our friend right now, pretending to fall in love with him. And they went to a different city, and he wrote her a love note. And he's like, I want to mail this to her. So we wrote love notes to each other as two fake people.
That's cool.
And it gave me more ideas to just explode with. So I try to use everything to go to my passion. So I've used D&D as my passion. So I feel like, if anything, just work for something you want to do. If I can leave on a note for this, it's just, if you're passionate about something, don't think you can't do it. Just give it a try. Like I don't think that this film is gonna work out. I don't know. I hope it does. And if it doesn't, well, I tried. Yeah, sure, I'm like $50,000 in debt. But I can try.
I think that's a good way of describing what I'm doing here, because my 2 or 3 listeners will know I've said countless times, it's become my phrase, is that this is a hobby. This isn't something I take too seriously.
Exactly.
Here. We will be right back with David Campble here on Conversations with James Freel. Sit tight. We're going to take a short break, and we will be right back.
Yep, I'll be here.
Well, hello, listener. I hope you've enjoyed this installment of Conversations with James Freel thus far. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to The James Freel Show on YouTube, where you can get all updates of conversations and my typical podcast. Also, consider following me on Twitter at James Freel Show. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Conversations with James Freel. If you've already been listening, I've had on a guest David Campble. He is an up-and-coming filmmaker in the Cincinnati tri-state area. We've had a great conversation so far. Full disclosure, David Campble and I have been friends for since 2009. So
yeah, I
10
met
years in high school. You were a sophomore, I was a freshman.
Yeah, you just came in and everything, and you were more in that group.
Yeah, that's sort of funny how those cliques work. Yeah, they overlap.
What's also too is like, I think I was the non-fitting in, or.
I would agree with that, and I'm not trying to sound mean when I say that.
No.
I do remember there was one time we were at a lunch table, and do you remember, what was his name? I think it was...
Yeah, I remember him.
I gotta make sure. Mark. Mark was his name. And at our school, they had this program for the mentally less fortunate. They would help clean up. Mm-hmm. They would learn real-world skills, which is a great program. That's a great idea. And we sat right underneath the television, and the guy mopping the floor just slammed his head against the television. I was shocked he didn't start bleeding, because it must have left a huge bruise.
Oh, had to have.
And he just looked over, and we were all concerned. There's, I think, 8 of us sitting there.
Yeah, no, I remember we were like, oh my God, are you okay?
Yeah, and he's like, no, man, it's fine, it's fine.
It's fine, happens all the time.
And then Mark just looks over and is like, that's why you're mopping floors. And we were like, dude, you can't say that.
I think it's just with people and everything like that, I feel like if you don't laugh about things, then you feel bad about them.
Yeah.
And it's not like a making fun of. It's not a morality kind of thing. It's more of just the lines of like, let's at least laugh at this situation. Let's at least laugh at this. Try to find something. Because if you don't, then I'm just sad about it.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
it's a defense mechanism.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And what I like is, I think, are you familiar with the comedian Bill Burr?
Yeah.
I've mentioned on this podcast.
I saw him on Conan.
He's great on Conan.
He just had a segment where he basically says
Yes.
that, like he was saying stuff and
Just
people were
because
offended.
you interpreted it like
Yeah.
that doesn't mean I meant it
Yeah.
like that.
And he was just like, well, I
And
can't say anything.
regular listeners of the James Freel Show will know that Bill Burr's podcast is one of the biggest inspirations for this show that I've had.
Nice.
But I think he's, honestly, interestingly enough, I love his comedy, but I think he's a better podcaster than I do think he's a comedian. And people say he's one of the greatest comedians ever. I'm like, I've seen him live. I saw him live. I drove all the way down to Cincinnati to see him at the Taft Theater because that was the closest he came to me. And I had a great time at the show. But I think his best work is done as a podcaster.
I like. I went down there. I think in probably the same theater. I went and seen Bo Burnham.
Make Happy.
Yeah.
He just had a new movie come out.
Did he?
It's called 8th Grade, and he's been all over YouTube.
8th Grade. I've never heard of it.
Sounds. You need to look it up. He's gone on Jimmy Kimmel. Watch Mojo just made a video about him. And are you familiar with Wisecrack?
No.
Okay, are you familiar with Thug Notes or
No.
Earthling Cinema? There's a YouTube channel called Wisecrack, and all these major YouTube channels are now like making videos about him. So I think it's his marketing plan. And that's a totally respectable plan. I'm not.
I remember because I remember him. When his first Comedy Central, when he got like that half hour on Comedy Central, and I remember he had planned. I remember I saw an interview and he had planned on it. He had signed the thing, and that was 2 weeks after his 18th birthday. Because like if he wasn't 18, like you can't be on TV without a bunch of this and that. So he waited like right after, and it's.
What do you think his parents were going through? You know?
I don't know.
Apparently, our son's got this big contract. Or how did Thanksgiving go for him?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry. But Bill Burr,
I love his rage comedy, the way he's angry.
I can see that. It's the same as Christopher Titus's comedy. Like he's very just like I love his comedy because it just talks about his life.
Yes.
He talks about his actual things. It's not like, I feel like when I watch him, he's not just like, hey, here's a joke that I wrote. Here's something funny that I thought of. He's just like, hey, this is the situation that I'm in. I'm going to make fun of it. You're going to laugh with me about it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel bad for me.
Yeah.
Don't think that I... feel bad about me. Like he made a special called Love is Evil, and it was all about like his divorce, and he laughed about it. Like he had fun with the situation.
I think that Christopher Titus can be very, very funny, and the reason so politically, familiar listeners of the James Freel Show will know that I try to stay impartial to everything. Mostly because I'm trying to get as many listeners as possible.
I don't offend this group.
Yeah, I don't want to offend anyone. And once I get traction, I can start making my beliefs known. But so I listen to people on the left and the right. Mm-hmm. And
I think you should.
I think you should too, and I think then you should make up your own mind.
Yeah, like even if you know that you're this way, just listen to how they talk about
Understand
things.
Because if you really believe what you do, you can strengthen your own arguments by knowing what they say. So one of the guys on the right wing that I listen to is Steven Crowder, and he once had Christopher Titus on, and it was a very intense argument they had, and I thought it was bad on both ends, but Christopher Titus came back on his show like a month later, and they made up, and it was good. That's where I know Christopher Titus from. Nice. But it was an interesting debate. I'd recommend watching it.
Me and my friend Jim, we know his first special.
Christopher Titus's?
By heart. The whole 45-minute.
What's it called?
Norman Rockwell is Bleeding. It was his first ever comedy show. He ended up having an interview where he talks, and he said, I was about to give up comedy. He had his own show on Fox. He had this and everything.
Norman Rockwell is Bleeding.
Rockwell is Bleeding.
Just added it.
Yeah. He says like he was about to give up on comedy. Like he was like, I was going nowhere. Nothing was happening. Like I was losing hope in it. He had that special, and that special carried him back through. And all the jokes in there, like no one watches it with us anymore. Like we used to, like when we'd hang out with people, we'd be like, oh, let's watch this, and they refuse to watch it now because they're like, why? You guys just lip sync the whole thing and it's annoying. Like, but it's you're right.
That is kind of annoying.
I know it is.
But
I've stopped doing it. Jim actually were in their car he sings aloud to all the songs. I was like, you can't actually hear the song anymore because he's doing it. And it's like, hey, dude. You know that old-fashioned joke, hey, who sings this? Oh, this person? Yeah, keep it that way. It was made for him. It's terrible.
It kind of is. But, you know, stand-up comedy is one of my passions, and I'm going to reveal this on... I haven't revealed it, and I think the James Freel show, that's the normal show, has much more listeners than Conversations with James Freel does, but... I've never revealed this on either platform. I tried stand-up comedy.
I did.
You did too?
Remember in high school?
That's right, and I executive produced
you that. You did that. You came up with that
show.
Idea. Yeah, no, I remember.
We're going to get to that in a second.
All right.
I'm going to finish this.
Yeah, finish your idea.
So, when this is kind of it's easier to... let's use the analogy of baseball. It's easier to step up to the plate as a podcaster than it is as stand-up comedy. And I know because I did it 4 times. I went to an open mic 4 times.
Really?
And I did pretty well my first time. And then
you didn't.
The next 3 times, I was horrible. And the thing was, the first 2 times I did horrible. I'm like, all right, 2 times in a row, no big deal. If I can't make it work the 3rd time, then I'm done. You know?
You can't give up, though.
Yeah, I can, because I don't really care that much.
Yeah, I can. No, I remember it's you got to know your audience.
Yes.
You got to know your audience.
This was, let's see. The funny thing is where I did it first, the 4 shows I did were at 2 different venues. The first show I did great at one venue, and then the next 2 were at a different venue where I couldn't make it work, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to the original venue,
and then you didn't,
and if I can't make it work there,
okay,
I'm gonna go back.
Okay. No, I remember, like, it was in high school I did mine.
Yeah, and you were great. You were great.
But I just made jokes about all the teachers and everything, and when you make fun of the teachers and everything. It's
everyone.
It's all for the students. It's all like the students sitting there. They're listening to all the teachers like they have, like they've heard. They know these teachers, and everything. So I just, I had there's little quirks. I wasn't making fun of them by bashing them. It was a little bit of a roast.
Clean.
It was a little bit of a roast. But it wasn't like, this person cheated on this person. No, they really care. It was just this fun little humor of like, oh, this person says okay, like Mr. Mackey on South Park.
I gotta say this.
This guy was on his...
I have to make this clear to anyone who went to the same high school as we do. Maybe they did or didn't. You were so... What's the word I'm looking for?
Stupid?
No. You were so easy on Mr. You could have been so much worse.
Yeah, I could have.
I have it on DVD back here, and I watch it quite a bit. You could have been... You were so easy on the MKs.
Yeah.
Because...
I know.
And that's what I think made it... You were still funny without being mean.
Yeah.
And it's like you were thinking, I don't want to be mean.
I don't want to be mean.
Yeah, because mean's not funny. It can be...
to some extent, but also at the same time, like, I don't want to hurt people just to hurt people. Like, comedy at somebody's expense isn't funny. Like, when you just bash somebody for no reason, it's like, okay, well...
Why?
Why did I deserve that?
Here we go. We're going to bring this up. School tube. It wasn't teacher tube.
Why would I do that and everything? They don't want to hear about it.
Oh, no. It's too late.
Oh, they don't want to hear
a
recording of something else that you can probably barely hear with this. Oh, my God. No, because I look... terrible.
You look great.
I sound terrible.
You sound a little nervous, but
I was. Oh my God. Yeah, I totally was.
Yes, the only reason I wanted to bring this up is, I produced this.
You did.
Let's tell the story.
I can say that. It's interesting because it was the variety show. All right, it wasn't a talent show.
Every high school has a variety show. And I gotta add this in really quick. A variety show in high school really means all of the semi-hot girls are going to go sing.
Yeah.
That's what a variety show is.
Semi-hot girls are going to go sing, and then the band's going to play something.
Yes.
And anybody that knows 4 chords on a guitar
is going to go,
So I thought I was cool. I thought I was hip. And I was like, you know what? I'm a fat white kid. I'm going to make a rap song. People are going to love it. And I was so confident in my head.
And I came up to you.
And then the day that we're sitting there, auditions are happening. And I'm like, just David, so nervous. And then you finally come up to me
like,
and you're
David,
just
that's a horrible idea.
You're like, what are you going to do? And I was like, oh, I got a rap song. You're just like, haha. No, what? What are you going to do? Like,
did I do that?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't remember this.
You were just like, and I was just like, I was in a rap song. And you go, no, really, what? I was like, I wrote a rap. And you're just like...
What kind of rap was it? I need to hear this.
I do not remember it. I know it was...
What was the theme of it?
It was about a girl.
Okay, all right.
It was terrible. But no, so
We're
you
in
go...
high school.
So I remember, and still to this day, I know your very words. Now, don't do that. You're fat. You're funny.
Jeez, you're making me sound horrible.
Well, I was fat. So... I don't know, like, you see a lot of people and everything. Nothing against fat people, I don't care. But you're fat, you're funny, and we changed.
You've always been very funny.
Yeah.
You've been a very funny
you were like,
guy.
You should do comedy. And I was like, oh yeah, Ben, I have to audition in like 10 minutes. I can't just make comedy happen off the top of my head.
Just so the listeners know, this is what I'm talking about when I say executive produced this. Please proceed.
And, so I sitting there with you, and I'm sitting there.
What am I going to tell jokes about?
Yeah, and I'm sitting there with our other buddy, and we're just like, what are we going to do? And you're just like, no, the teachers. Like, let's just like little roast.
Because everyone there is going to...
I was like, let's roast the teachers. And I was like, okay. And we came up with like 3 or 4 teachers on the spot at that time.
Because it's so easy.
Yeah, we just picked like the easy ones that they, the little quirks. And I go up on stage, I do my little jokes about them, and
I don't mind name dropping teachers on here.
The people doesn't matter. The people on the panel were just I even made fun of one of the people on the panel.
I think
like
it was Carl Robinson
of the judges.
Mike Morris.
Yeah.
Was there another one?
There was a girl, I can't remember. It was the cheerleading person.
Schweinfest?
No,
not Schweinfest. Schwarberg.
Bruh, it was so long ago. I don't know. It was a
while ago. Yeah.
So they were like, is that it and everything? And I was like, well, listen, I got to keep you guys wanting more. Trust me, I have more. Yeah, I was like, trust me, I have more. I got more teachers, but just, keep it.
Wait, this is after you did you did the few teachers, and they were like, do you have more?
Yeah, they were like, because I was only like 4 teachers.
Did you do any of the ones that were sitting there watching?
Yeah, I did one of them. I did
the poking the bear.
Yeah, I did the poking the bear. It's more like teddy bear. He's amazing because he's not just standing there watching me right now. Yeah, so I and they loved it, and they were like, all right, well, if you've got more, then we would. And they loved it, and they were like, all right, do it. So then we had like a tech rehearsal, I guess, of it the night before, and
that's when
I made a couple more teachers, and they were like, I thought you said you were gonna have 10 and you only did 6. I was like, I know, I have to leave you guys wanting more. And they were like, we're gonna trust you. And they loved it. Like, even the vice principal that I made fun of, he was like...
Mybers, right?
He was... no, Tracy.
Tracy, yes.
Mybers wasn't there. He was at the basketball game across the way.
Oh, that was the same night?
Yeah.
Dude, fuck
so...
this. Oh, shit.
No, there's our one.
There's our one. Yeah.
So... Tracy was like, I loved it. Like, I was like, oh, I even made fun of you. And he was like, oh, I know.
We gotta say, there was one teacher who did not take it.
He did not like it. And we're not going to name his name because he gets very upset.
Eric Karn.
About it. All right. Well, I didn't say it.
It's my show. They don't.
Yeah, I didn't say it.
I mean, the damage has already been done.
Sure.
He knew your name then.
He's not watching this.
No one's watching this.
He's not watching this. So yeah, so I made fun of him, and I heard.
Just to give the people listening some sort of context, all 2 of you, this teacher spray tanned himself every other weekend, and he was totally orange. It wasn't tan.
It was not tan. It was orange. And so he also told outrageous stories. I never had him in class, but people told me.
Really, you never had him in class?
Nope. So people told me these outrageous stories, like, oh, I fought a bear once and it was great, and oh, well, I dated this princess, but I broke up with her because she was too clingy. And then my story that I ended with that he told was, if on Halloween, if you come to my house and everything, I pass out the candy and everything, And if you come with like a hot mom or whatever, you get the king size chocolate bar and everything because like he's trying to impress like the mom or whatever. So I ended up with the last line of like ladies. So ladies call him. And my buddy pokes out with a poster board sign that we had made like 20 minutes before, killing brain cells with just so much permanent marker. And it just said 5 call him 555 orange.
Which is
Still
also
have
kind of
that
funny
sign.
because orange is like... Do you still have that sign?
Oh yeah, I'm not getting rid of that sign.
Dude, you
I've thought about
never get rid of that
I've thought about
sign.
tattooing it, like just because it's the best memory that I have from high school.
I love that memory also.
Yeah, so like it was great. Like he hated it. He hated it. I remember the vice principal. He goes, "Did you talk to so and so?" You've already said it, but
Karn. Eric Karn.
He's like,
His name is Eric Karn.
He's like, did you go and talk to him about this? I was like, no. He goes, uh-oh. He knew like he's not gonna like this.
I think this is a perfect illustration of like geopolitical politics. So it's like all these countries.
Yeah.
And it's like, did you talk to him about that? No, I didn't. Oh man, we got crap on our hands.
So yeah, so he was like, uh-oh, well, he's probably gonna talk to you about this. Just, keep it.
Heads up.
Keep it, if he like starts yelling at you, just keep a level head. Just say like, okay, I'm sorry, like,
That's
yada yada yada.
That they can't control their own staff like that.
Did I ever tell you that I didn't keep it to myself?
Yeah, I know you didn't keep it to yourself.
Yeah, so I didn't keep it to myself, and he was like, just, if he sends you to the office, come down here, we'll laugh about it, and I'll send you back to class. So he was like, you can't make fun of people if you don't ask their permission, yada yada yada. So I was smart to him, and I said, I'm pretty sure every comedian makes their life on not doing that.
Did you really say that to him?
Yep. I'm pretty sure every comedian makes their life on not doing that. But the next time I make fun of somebody with a sensible...
my mind is blown. That's my mind being blown.
I basically called him a whiner.
As you were ahead of your time. You were ahead of your time.
It's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're... Just have fun with things. If you can't laugh at yourself,
you need to not take yourself so seriously.
People make fun of me all the time,
yes.
And it's just like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you got. Like, it's just like, okay, if I have things that are big, if I ever, this is gonna be terrible, and I've had this thought. I remember Chris Titus said this. He says, if I'm ever a vegetable, put me down. Don't waste your time on me. Like, I'm a vegetable, unless I'm funny. Unless I'm funny. If I'm funny, laugh at me all you want, record me, do whatever you need. And then once I'm not funny anymore,
put me down.
Then put me down. So it's just like, he even knows, like, it's just like, just have your fun where you can have it. Because sometimes in this world, like, there's things that we can't laugh about. There's people dying, there's people this, there's people that. If we concern ourselves with all this stuff, then it's like, the world sucks.
Yeah, it does.
The planet's dying. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So it's just, you got to have fun with things. I know, like, me and my friends, like, I make fun of my friends constantly for things that happened years ago. Did I ever tell you, the time Darren made fun of he made fun of us for eating at Buffalo Wild Wings?
Darren?
Yeah, no, he it's our old buddy. It's our old buddy. He loved traditional wings. Loved them.
Yeah, the bone-in wings.
Yeah, he loved the bone-in wings. I hated them. I got all messy. So I used a fork. I got boneless wings, and we're eating them with boneless.
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah. Tasty chicken nuggets.
They are.
And he's eating them with wings, and he's getting all messy and yada yada yada. And I'm like, look at your face, dude. Like you're a mess. Like why? How is this good for you? Like how? He's like, oh, they're delicious. Blah, blah, blah.
They are delicious.
And then we're like, yeah, but you're a mess. And he goes, so I'll just grab this wet nap over here. Didn't look at the wet nap. Grabs the wet nap, that's not a wet nap, opens it without looking that it's not a wet nap, and sugar goes all over his hands, all over the table, and the look of disappointment on his face was just like, I deserve this.
Yeah.
I made fun of him, and I deserve this. And I'm terrible. And we make fun of him constantly. Every time we go to get wings now, he always gets boneless. And we're like, oh, what happened to those wings? What happened to those bone wings? Huh, man? Shut up, guys. Oh, no, why don't you get those? The wet naps are right here. Shut up. He's got one to where him and my other friend, so Darren gets Chinese food, and he takes the little corner of the soy sauce off. And he dips, and he just puts little drops. He doesn't like spread it all, just little drops where he needs it.
Fair enough.
Put it right there. It was about half full still. He's eating his Chinese. Other buddy comes in, and he's like, oh, what's this? He's like, oh, you eating your Chinese food? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, your soy sauce. And he's like, man, screw you. Like, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, the back and forth that friends give each other. And he's like, what? Screw me. He's like, he grabs his soy sauce packet. He's like, you want to say that? In my house, takes his soy sauce packet, flings it back, and was going to pretend to fling it at him. And Darren just goes wide-eyed, keeping his, like, eyes just like, oh my god. And our buddy Jake, he pretends to throw it, and he's just like looking at Darren, and he's like, what's so funny? And then like Darren's just like looking behind him, and he goes, what? And he looks up, and you just see soy sauce just all on the ceiling, all along the wall. And he looks at the packet, and it's empty, and he's just like, I'm gonna go get a towel. Like, it's great. Like, it's those things right there. And Jake tells that story to people. He's like, yeah, I did this to Darren. And it's just like, he laughs at himself. Like, I feel like we need to laugh at ourselves.
You have to.
Like, I'm laughing at myself right now. Before you said we wanted to start this little thing. Yeah, no, before we started this thing, you're like, oh, if you gotta go to the bathroom, you go ahead. I don't know if you see me moving in my chair a lot. I gotta pee bad.
We got 2 minutes left.
Yeah,
here,
no,
folks.
I can make it for anybody listening, and
Okay.
they just know that there's a lot of pee floating around my bladder right now.
This is we have definitely created a new frontier here on Conversations with James Freel, or the entire James Freel enterprise.
Let's see. I have something to distract myself with. All right. A buddy of mine, his mom, overprotective. Like, just very like, well, I don't want him to see any violence. I don't want to see any big things like that and everything. And we're like,
that's
okay.
gonna be me as a parent.
So she's like, my baby can't see any of this and everything. So we're like, oh, okay. Well, it's fine. We wanted to go see The Hangover. He's not allowed to see The Hangover.
Wow, this is in 2009?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like, well, my mom's not going to let me. He's like, my mom's not going to let me see that and everything. And we were like, yeah, we get it and everything. So like, we came to the door and everything, and we're like, oh yeah, we're here for Jake. And he goes, what are you guys going to do? I was like, oh, we're going to go see a movie. And his mom's like, well, what movie? And like instantly we were like, oh my god, he can't see this movie. We have to say something else. And we're just like, Thor. And
Was Thor even out?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was at the same time. And like both like the other buddies that were with me, they're just like, yeah, we're super pumped. Thor. And then Jake comes around the corner and he's like, heck yeah, Thor. Didn't know what we were doing.
This is at his house.
Yeah, that's at his house. It's great. Like, it was just those moments where like friends bond over, lying to their parents.
Exactly. I got to stop you right there. We're going to take a break. If this may be the conclusion of what gets uploaded. If you want to hear the conclusion of the story, you're going to have to go to the extended Conversations with James Freel page. We will be right back. We're speaking with David Campble, who is a filmmaker. We'll be right back, folks. Take care.